Hello, welcome to Yoga One. This is our first week of class, and my name is Beth Novian Hughes. I'll be the instructor for this class. I've been practicing yoga since 2005. Uh, Attended a few classes prior to that, but I'd say my real practice started in 2005. Became a yoga teacher in 2008-ish and became a yoga therapist in 2015 or thereabouts. So that's a little bit about me. I have, because of this COVID virus that's going on right now, if this is past all that, then you can just skip this part. I have required that students purchase their own props, and that may actually continue into the future, even beyond this pandemic we're in right now. So I'd like to spend a little time first going over the props and things that I had asked you to purchase. One is a yoga mat, and you can see back there I have two yoga mats set up just so that I can do two different camera angles, but you all just have one. So where I might turn and use the other mat, you may just turn on your mat. So that's just so that I only have to use one camera for this. So that's the number one most important thing that you purchase. You got a mat bag that you can roll the mat up and put that in. Some of the other things that I asked you to get that were in the kit, if you got the whole kit, were a strap. And the strap I like to call an arm extender, because some people, when they forward fold like this, they can't quite reach their feet. Let me see if I can get back here where you can see my feet. So you can put it under your feet and just extend your arms, or the same thing if you've got your leg up in the air like this, you can extend your arm out. So I don't like to see bent elbows. I like elbows straight. If you want, you can choke up on the strap to use it. So that's just a little bit of advice on that. There might be some other ways in which we can, hey, my face, we can use this. So, and the other thing were a couple of blocks, and you can use these to sit on. Boom. Let your hips roll forward, feet on the floor. You can use them underneath your back to hold yourself up in a supported bridge. There's lots of different ways. You can hold it in your hand when you're doing a pose. These aren't very well done, but you get the idea. You can use it for your hand. Sometimes we'll even squeeze them to engage the muscles. So squeeze between the knees. There's lots of different ways. One of the biggest ways we'll be using them to start is one on each side of your mat. You're going to want them at the front, but I'm going to go here to show you. For today, you'll probably want them either side of the front of your mat, because one of the things we're going to do is Crescent Pose. This is Crescent Pose, but for some people this is going to be hard, and you may want to just bring the blocks in for a little bit of support as you do this for the first few times. So position your blocks there to start. The last thing I wanted to go over, I keep knocking my head off here, is the blanket. I've got a blanket here. It's very similar. In fact, I think this is just like the ones that you have in your kit. So with these blankets, you can fold them in half like that, and then turn it the opposite way. Fold it in half again. Turn it the opposite way. Fold it in half again. And then if you fold it in half one more time, you have a nice little spot, much like we had with the block that you can use to sit on. And we'll be doing this in a minute, but the main thing we're going to use this for is to replace a bolster. This is a bolster. It's round, it's thick, it's like a big old pillow that you can use for restorative yoga. And we'll be doing some of that. So we're going to make a bolster out of this blanket. So instead of folding it and making it kind of a rectangle. I call that hamburger style. We're gonna fold this hot dog style. Sometimes elementary school teachers use that for paper. So I don't like the fringy things. I'm one of these people that I don't like seams of socks on me and all. They kind of bother me. So I like to fold it long ways and then fold it in half so that all the fringe is together. And this is not going well, of course. Let me unfold, make sure everything is lined up right. It's not, and then fold it in half again, pulling all the edges together. So I have all my fringes together. Let me see if I can bring this closer so you can see there's fringes. Then I'm going to roll it, fringe side in. So I'm rolling it. And I've got a little bolster. You can see. Now, for some of you bigger guys and all, this might not be enough, or even if you've got like a back issue or something like that, you may want it to be thicker. So here's what I recommend. Get yourself any blanket. Doesn't have to be a Mexican blanket like we just had. This one is, I think, for a twin bed. It's a quilt. I'm going to fold it in half. Now it doesn't have fringe, so I don't have to necessarily try to get those little fringy things to the inside. And then I'm going to just pick up where I left off with this first blanket and roll the other one around it. Boom. And now I've got a nice thick bolster that I can use. When we get to restorative week, I think that is week 5, we'll be using these. So you might want to play with over the next few weeks, the bolsters, and maybe you've got another blanket that you'd like to add to yours if you feel like you're one of these people that needs a thicker bolster. The other thing you can do that works just the same is to take, and I guess I do have this. Take a yoga mat. I have lots of yoga mats. If you happen to have a second yoga mat lying around, roll it up. Boom. And then take that blanket and roll it around the yoga mat. That way you've got that stickiness to the inside. You don't have to deal with that. But that's kind of a medium thickness. So just, different things that you can use, and just be thinking about it. You may find different uses for your props depending on your own particular needs. But to start today, I'm going to just use this the way I started with it, as a seat. And just 2 other things before we get started. One is bring your own bottle of water to class right now. The water fountains are going to be closed, so use your own water. And I'm not, if you've taken any other yoga class, some yoga classes tell you when it's okay to drink water. I won't. Drink when you need it. So just have that there. And the other is the eye pillow. And I will have these. This is not in the kit, so I will have these. I'll buy them in bulk, and they'll be $7 each. We will probably be in a space where I cannot control the lighting for the unforeseeable future. So this will allow you'll put them over your eyes when we're at the end of class for meditation laying down. I'll demonstrate that at the end today. And that'll allow the light to be gone. They're filled with lavender, so they smell nice. It's a little aromatherapy for you, and a little weight. Sometimes that weight feels really good. If you have a headache or feeling really anxious, even putting this on your forehead, maybe put it in the fridge and put it on your forehead. It feels really good if you've got a headache. Hits all those nerve endings of the vagus nerve that are in your forehead. So that's my little talk about props and how to use them again. I think there's a little bit more of this when we get to the restorative yoga video. I'm going to use the same one I'll use for yoga too. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not sure. This is all new to me too. So those are the props. So we're going to just do a little bit of practice today. This is going to be gentle stuff. Dynamic yoga is the theme for this week. Dynamic means moving. Static is still. So I think a lot of times we associate stretching and stillness with yoga, but that's not always true. Sometimes we are freeing our joints and moving in that regard as well. So we're going to do a little bit of dynamic warm up, and then we're going to learn how to do a sun salute, my favorite sun salute today. There are three different kinds of sun salutes, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later, but two of them can really hurt you, and I'm not a fan. But we'll talk a little bit about that. And we will try them out later in this semester. So anyway, let's begin. One other thing, I am not going to play music. In yoga too, there'll be music on some of these videos. They're already recorded, but it was a fail. So if you like having music while you practice, I'm a fan. I was in Barry Singer's when I was a student. So have a different device playing some sort of music if that's what you like. Cool with me when you're practicing at home. So just that's an all right thing to do. So now let's just go back here, and I'm going to sit down for a minute just to find my good seat. I'm going to let my hips roll forward a little bit so that my knees end up down towards the floor. And you don't want to be kind of collapsed into your spine. You want to be upright with a straight spine as much as you can. And just let your eyes close for just a few moments. And take a nice deep breath in and out. And I'd like you to notice, did you take that breath through your nose or through your mouth? Just making that observation as you breathe, nose or mouth, or maybe both. So in yoga, we prefer for someone to breathe through their nose, both in and out. There are lots of benefits to breathing in and out through the nose. First thing will be there's little hairs in your nose, so the air gets filtered. Particles get caught and they don't get into your system. The next is as the air moves back and it hits your sinuses, there's nitric oxide produced in your sinuses, and that is calming to the body. It also helps with the exchange of oxygen and CO2 when it gets out to the level of the tissue. So it aids with that through something called the Bohr effect, which we may talk a little bit more about later in this semester. And it also, just on a very anatomical level, it forces you to slow down. The nostrils are much smaller than the mouth. So it takes a little bit more effort to breathe through the nose. And that's a physical slowing down of the body. As you breathe through your nose, you'll begin to notice you feel calm. If it feels uncomfortable for you to do that, then try just inhaling, so at least to get that hit of nitric oxide that's calming as well. It's much like nitrous oxide that dentists use in their office, so you're getting my whole nose lecture today. So we're going to start moving the spine a little bit in what we call seated cat-cow. Cat-cow, we're going to do this in a minute, just stay put, is arching up of the spine and then swaying down of the spine. So we're going to do this kind of movement while seated to start with. So now we're just going to sculpt a curve in the front of the body. Let yourself kind of go into that droopy posture and then bring everything forward. So imagine that your spine is in the shape of the letter C. And right now, the inside curve of the C is my front body. And right now, it's my back body. So let me turn sideways and show you that from a side view. C, inside curve front and back. So keep moving and see if you can, once you kind of understand what you're doing here, add your breath to this. So first rule of yoga is as we move up, generally we breathe in. So let this, my head's going higher, let this be your inhale. And then as you come down, let this be your exhale. So breathe with the movement of your head and your spine. Exhaling. Also think about this. We're kind of collapsed inward. That's the other part. Contraction inward is exhale. Expansion is inhale. So as you expand, inhale. As you contract, exhale. Getting some movement, some of that dynamic movement for the spine. So this is kind of a modified forward folding and then a back bending of the spine. So now we're going to get into a little bit of twisting of the spine. So bring your knees out in front of you. I think I'm going to come off of my blanket now. Let your hands be behind your fingertips towards your buttocks. Knees bent, feet on the floor. And then let both knees drop together to one side. Bring them back up to the middle and then over to the other side. So now we'll breathe with our knees. So inhale as the knees come up. Exhale as they drop. Inhale, knees up. Exhale as they drop. Keep going. So we're going to add on to this. So the next time that your knees are dropped to the right, pause there. And what we're going to do is turn your whole body around so that you're facing away from your feet. Then bring your forearms down to the ground. So I'm going to turn myself sideways so that you can see what this would look like from the side. So my knees drop to the right. I'm going to turn myself around and bring my forearms down to the ground. So I'm in a twist. And just breathe here. We're going to leave the lower arm down, the hip that's up, the opposite arm from that, and then extend that leg, the upward leg out, extend the upward arm out and pull in opposite directions. Stretch that side of your body. Then bring the elbow and the knee together. This is the contraction, so this would be exhale. And then inhale as you open. Inhale, exhale. The next time that you're extended out, hold there. One more. We're going to take the knee and bend it and see if your hand can reach your foot. If it can't, this is a spot where you might use your strap. Put it around your ankle and then grab on. So your choice there. Once you've got this, let your knee gently move backwards, just until you feel a stretch on the front of your thigh, your quadricep. Breathing. Don't hold your breath. It's real easy with these static poses to just hold the breath. Let the breath breathe in and out through the nose. And then we're going to push ourselves up. Let the knees drop over to the other side. So I'm going to turn myself around, so I'm still facing forward. You can just let your knees drop over to the other side. So knees are dropped to the left side of your body now. And then you're going to turn yourself around again. We have to do this whole thing on the other side, down to the forearms, and breathe. Next week we will be learning Kapalabhati breathing, and this is a spot where you could add that. It'll be the really quick breath we'll do next week. Make sure you're still breathing. And then keeping that lower forearm down, open the hips up, extend the top leg straight out, and the top arm opposite direction, pull in two different directions. I feel like these pulling in two different directions are somewhat metaphorical, because y'all are in college and stuff. This never happens, being pulled in different directions, huh? And then we'll just exhale, bring the knee and the elbow together. Inhale, open. Keep going. You don't have to move with me. Move at your own rate of breathing. And then we're going to keep the knee bent. See if you can get the ankle, or use a strap if you need it. Gently moving the knee back till you feel the front of the thigh stretching. Letting that go. We're going to roll over to hands and knees now, just for a little bit. Cat-cow. So as your back goes up, your head goes down. We're going to breathe with the head. This is the scooped out, kind of contracted belly. So let this be exhale. And then as the head comes up and the belly expands, inhale. Really see if you can synchronize the movement of your spine with your breath, so that when you get to the peak or the valley of the pose, you're at the peak or the valley of your breath. It's not breathe, then move. It's breathe and move together. You might even hear your breath, like ocean waves. That's the beginning of Ujjayi breath, another thing we will be learning next week. So from here, we're going to start to move into down dog. If your wrist begin to hurt for any reason, you can take the end of your mat and maybe roll it up a couple times. Let your palms of your hands stay on the mat, but let your fingertips come off. And that just kind of takes a little bit of the angle out of it. If it doesn't feel like enough, then maybe take another roll. So this is optional. You don't have to do this. Tuck your toes, and then we're going to come off of your knees, push your weight back. You want to extend as much as you can your body. So we're not in a forward bending. We're really in a triangle kind of position with the floor. There's a straight line from your wrist to your hips, another straight line from your hips to your heels. You want your heels maybe an inch off of the floor, not much more than that. You want your belly pulled in. Imagine your navel moving towards your spine. Your buttocks shining up behind you, but don't drop your head and yourself through your shoulders. It's not a back bending. Straight line, head in alignment with the arms. Shoulders down the back. So we're not here. Shoulders are down the back. Everything's sliding towards the buttocks except for the heart and the head. They're moving towards the hands. And then walk your feet up to your hands, and we'll just hang if you want in a forward fold, whatever that looks like for you. If you want to get a strap under your feet, you can. Maybe you're super flexible and you want to stand on your feet. Knees soft. If they need a little bend, that's fine as long as you're feeling a stretch. And then we'll just gently, one vertebrae at a time, roll up to standing. So the next thing we are doing is sun salutes. So I'm going to teach you all sun salute C, ABC. Sun salute A and sun salute B have something in them called Chaturanga, and we will learn that in week 6, but let me show you. It's like the lowering part of a push-up. So we're just going to keep our elbows close to our sides and lower ourselves down to the ground. So it's a tricep push-up, the downward part of a tricep push-up. And for a lot of people, that hurts their shoulders. So I started taking it out of my yoga classes years ago. Because of that, it's actually called a shoulder shredder. But you young guys, I know a lot of you like it. So we will, in week 6, spend a little time learning how to do Chaturanga. And that way you will have had a few weeks with just a general sun salute to learn it before trying something a little bit harder. So starting sun salute C, we're going to slowly work through this. And I'm going to turn sideways first because most of what you'll need to see is from a sideways angle. I'll probably do one facing forward. But let's start at the front of your mat. This is the front of my mat. So if I were teaching you all, I'd be up in front there. And I've got my blocks on either side so that I can grab them. I'm going to start in Samastidihi mountain pose. So imagine that the base of your big toe, the base of your pinky toe, and the inner and outer edges of your heel, we're making a rectangle with your feet. And then I want you to push all 4 corners of that rectangle evenly into the floor. So you have even standing between your feet, and then lower your toes to the ground. Let your shoulders roll onto your back, the palms opening forward. And just stand for a moment. And check in with your body. Check in with your breath. So with sun salutes, we have 3 different ways we can move our arms, and I'm going to demonstrate all 3 of them. I'm going to turn forward to do that for you. We are not going to be in crowded rooms this semester, so this is not an issue, but when you're in a crowded room, sometimes this is hard. So the most common way is to just let your arms go up and then reverse swan dive to fold. Gazing out, folding, and then back up, and then hands to your side. So that's one, arms are going out. If you're in a crowded room and you're going to hit your neighbor, then we take the arms straight up and fold, and then straight up and back down. If you're feeling spiritually driven in practice or in that particular sun salute, it can change. You could do different sun salutes with different arms depending on how you're feeling in that moment, being in that moment. So you could take your hands to your heart and then prayer them up, prayer them down, prayer them back up, and bring them to your heart. So that's your choice on whichever one of those moment to moment you want to do. So back over to our sideways angle, I think I'm going to go forward because I got the wall here. So inhale, reaching up. And then exhale, we're going to just fold forward and just hang for a moment. Then we're going to this is the part that a lot of people miss. Take your hands to your thighs. And we're going to come to the halfway point. I will say either come to the halfway point, gaze out, or who knows what I might say. But you want your buttocks to be pulling backwards while your head is pulling forward, being pulled in 2 directions, the same as we talked about earlier. So the back is flattening out and the gaze is slightly out. Hands on the thighs for a little leverage, and then let's just go ahead and fold. Let's do this 3 more times. So hands on the thighs, gazing out, and then exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, gaze out. Exhale, fold. And last one, inhale to the halfway point, and exhale, fold. And then let's just inhale, unfold. And exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. So that's a half sun salute, what we just did. Let's put that all together and then we'll add on. So taking a deep breath in and out, let the hands drop. Moving with the hands here. Inhale as the arms go up. Exhale, fold down. Hands to the knees. Inhale, gaze out, head comes up. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, unfold all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do one more. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Adding on now. So this is where the blocks will come in handy here. Starting with your hands at your heart, inhale. Exhale, let the hands drop. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, gazing out. And then as you exhale, step your right foot back, lower the right knee to the ground. I've got the blocks here to help me with that. And then we're going to just move into what's called Crescent Pose. I think it's because from the tips of your fingers all the way down to the tip of that back toe, your body is in the shape of a crescent. It's a back bending. You can bring your hands together and point to your pointer fingers if you like. That's one option. Really feel my knee is almost hyperextended a little bit here. I'm trying to get a nice stretch in the groin. And we will synchronize this with the breath after the first one. I like to give everyone a little extra time to stretch the groin with the first one. So let's bring the hands down to the ground. And then we're going to step back to down dog. We've already done that. You can walk the dog, so keep your toes in place, but bend one knee and then the other. Or you can wag the tail, let your hips move side to side, or maybe do a combination of these together. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing. We stepped the right foot back. So we did a crescent with the right foot back. Now we want to do a crescent with the right foot forward. So don't move the left foot, move the right foot again. So we're going to move it forward and lower the left knee. It'll take your brain a little bit of time to process this. It did mine the first few times I did it. So in order to do both sides of your body, you're just moving one leg. And so now we'll just move into that crescent on the other side, and I'll let you hold this for a few breaths. While your groin is getting a nice stretch, keep breathing. If that having the arms up is too much, then just let your hands be by your side or let them rest on the blocks. The blocks, I've got them right now, they're tall. If you've got long arms, I do not. You may want to go to medium. Extra long arms, low. So know that the blocks are, they can be used in all 3 heights. All right. So we're here. And then we're going to exhale, take the hands down to the ground. On an inhale, step the other foot forward. Inhale, gaze out. Exhale, fold. We have to unwind ourselves. Now inhale, unfold all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. So that's the parts of a sun salute, very, very slowly done. Let's chain 2 of them together. And then I would like to invite you to pause the video and practice a few of these on your own, or you can rewind it and do the 2 again, whatever you feel like you need. So 2 sun salutes chained together. We will just, as the breath moves, we will move with it. Starting with your hands at your heart, Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the hands drop. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, gazing out. Exhale, step the left knee back, lower the left knee to the ground. And on inhale, up into crescent. Exhale, the hands back down. Inhale, step the right foot back to down dog. And we'll take one extra breath here. Adding on one extra thing. On the inhale, lift the left leg up to three-legged dog if you like. Bend the knee. Bring that knee into your chest, and just like you're walking, step that left foot forward. Drop the right knee to the ground. That took a couple extra breaths. And inhale into crescent on the other side. We move the left knee twice. Exhale, the hands down to the ground. Inhale, step the right foot forward and lengthen to the halfway point. Exhale, fold. Inhale, unfold. And exhale, the next one will be with no commentary. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway point. Exhale, step the right foot back, lower the right knee. Inhale into crescent. Exhale, the hands back down. Inhale, step the left foot back. And exhale. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step the right foot forward, lower the left knee. Inhale into crescent. Exhale, the hands back down. Inhale, step the left foot forward, lengthen to the halfway point, and exhale, fold. Inhale, unfold, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So I'd like to invite you to stop the video at this point, if you like, and practice a few sun salutes. Welcome back. So now we're going to sit and do a little bit of breath work, because yoga, as we will be learning through our discussion, is really the combination of three things: asana or poses like we just were doing, and breath, like we were combining the breath with that, and also meditation. So we're going to move into the most common yogic breath right now, which is Durga breath. It's the three-part yoga breath. And then we'll do a little bit of relaxation, and I'm going to get my meditation book so that I'm ready with that. And let me see. I think I want to sit for a moment. You may choose, as we're doing this, to lay down. In fact, I think I'm going to sit up in just a moment, but I'm going to sit up, but not right now. Unscripted, that's what happens. So we're laying down. Durga breath, the three parts of it are the collarbones, right up here where my microphone is, the upper or the middle chest where your lungs and your rib cage are, and then the belly, or everything below your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is a big muscle just below your lungs. I'm going to sit up for this demo. So that with the diaphragm, as you inhale, it kind of moves down to create more space for the lungs. And then as you exhale, it moves back up because you don't need as much space. So it looks sort of like an umbrella when you're exhaled. Then when you're inhale, it looks like a umbrella in the middle of a windstorm that's kind of gone in its inside out. So that's kind of the idea of that. So everything below your diaphragm is the third part. But some people, and so we breathe either from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. And in yoga, there's a lot of people that feel different ways about this. Some people feel that first you inhale into the collarbones and they expand, then the lungs, and they expand. The lungs are always in the middle, and then the belly, and it expands. So that's one. The other is some people think the breath goes all the way in, belly expands first, and the belly is actually not got air in it. Breath is kind of an energetic feel, not necessarily a physical air. But with the diaphragm pushing down, all the abdominal organs get squeezed. And so that's the thing that makes them kind of pop out. It's like they're being pinched. And, you know, when you pinch something, it kind of goes out. So some people think this is what moves first, the belly, then the chest, then the collarbone. So I just would like you to lay there and experiment top, bottom down, what feels right for you. If your back is hurting right now, you can put your blanket under your knees, or maybe even go further with that. Put your blocks under your knees or your thighs. So I want you to be comfortable with this. So that's another use of the props. And just let your legs flop out or in, however your body is designed. And then I'm going to call this breath for you. So you're going to inhale to whatever you decided is your first part. For me, it's the belly. Then the second part, always the lungs, mid-chest. Then the third part. And then take a nice, long, slow exhale. Inhale to the first part. Second part. Third part. Long, slow exhale. Inhale to the first part. Second part. Third part. Long, slow exhale. I'll try to demonstrate the other way. Inhale to the first part. Second part. Third part. Long, slow exhale. And just keep going with this. Durga breath, 3-part breathing. Trying to breathe through the nose as much as you can. The exhale may happen through the mouth. You can make it longer and slower by breathing through the nose. And just keep going. Take about 5 more breaths. Breathing is a way to calm the body. It's something that we're always doing. Nose breathing, to me, is one of the easiest ways to calm yourself, even when you're around other people, maybe in conversation, and maybe you're getting anxious and you need to calm down, but you can't leave the situation. So you can just breathe through your nose and feel the body calm. Two more breaths. Last one. And then you all stay put. I'm going to sit up, but you just stay where you are, but allow your body to release into your body's own natural breathing at this point. I just went over and got my eye pillow because I do want to demonstrate for you Savasana positioning. So everything that you just had, but if the light is bothering you, I like making sure there's even amount of lavender in both parts of the eye. You can put them over the eye. Make sure that your nose is not covered up so that you can breathe. I don't know how this is going to work with masks. We'll have to try it out and see. At least in your practice in your rooms or outside, you maybe won't have to wear a mask. And then just allow your body to begin to relax. I'm going to sit up, but you stay put. So check in with your whole body, noticing any changes in the sensations you feel. Let's scan through, starting with the head, moving down into the shoulders, the chest, down into the arms, the belly, hands, hips, thighs, shins and feet. And just notice any sensations that are present in your body without judging them, just being. My shirt today, I wore it intentionally, says, "Let go, fear less, love more." I hope that you all will enjoy the 7 weeks we'll have together. And know that we only do things that are in your wheelhouse. It's up to you. Everything we do is up to you. I am simply here to provide advice. I will be reading throughout Yoga 1 from a text called Meditation from the Mat. If you are interested in it, it is in the bibliography in the syllabus. So today I'm reading day 1. The days are all listed in the syllabus as well that I'll be reading. He had not apply new remedies, but he that will not apply new remedies must not expect new evils. For time is the greatest innovator. Sir Francis Bacon. As we move into the 21st century, yoga seems to be the West's new remedy. Yet this remedy is in fact over 5,000 years old, far older than Islam, even older than Christianity. Today, in yoga studios throughout the West, Sanskrit, one of the oldest written languages, is used as contemporary classroom jargon. So we must ask, why yoga and why now? I believe our hunger for yoga and our eagerness to embrace yoga as a spiritual practice are a testament to our growth and our desire for change. In the aftermath of the bloodbath that was the 20th century, and in the presence of threats posed by more recent events, there are pressing needs for what Buddhist scholar Robert Thurman describes as a cold revolution. We need a new paradigm, one that will replace our present attachment to imbalance. Yoga is the study of balance, and balance is the aim of all living creatures. It is our home. The flow of this book follows the course of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, written between 500 and 200 BC. The sutras codified the spiritual path that was already many centuries old at the time the sutras were actually written down. Patanjali provides 196 succinct lessons on the nature of the human condition, human potential, and how that potential can be realized. Comprehensive, systematic, and remarkably precise, the Yoga Sutras organize the essence of all spiritual practices into a basic plan for living. You will find nothing in this ancient text that contradicts the precept of any religion. Instead, you will find a step-by-step guide to right living, a guide that completes the goal of any spiritual tradition. A spiritual practice is one that brings us full circle, not to a new self, but rather back to the essence of our true selves. Yoga is the practice of celebrating what is. At the end of a hero's journey, he finds that he did not need to go anywhere, that all he sought was inside him all along. Dorothy, having traveled across time and space to the land of Oz, and having struggled desperately to find her way back to Kansas, discovers that she could have gone home at any time. In the end, she learns that her adventures have been simply brought her to the point where she can believe this. It is the aim of all spiritual seeking to bring us home, home to the understanding that we already have everything we need. We are far from home and weary from our travels. The sun is setting, and there is no destination in sight. Yoga is a lamp lit in the window of home, dimly glimpsed across the spiritual wilderness in which we wander. At a time when we could not feel further from our home, yoga reminds us that we are already there, that we simply need awaken from our dream of separation, our dream of imperfection. Allow this book to awaken you, and these classes to awaken you, to be light that shines in the darkness, guiding you through your days, pointing you home. Allow your attention to return to your body and to your breath. Moving the small muscles first, your fingers and your toes. Larger muscles as you're ready for more movement, your arms and your legs. Rolling to one side and pausing in the fetal position for a breath or two. Then using the palms of your hands to support you, push yourself back up to sitting. And let your hands touch the floor, grounding you. Thanking this floor for holding you for this past hour. And then with your next inhale, let your arms reach up above your head and bring your palms together. Exhale the hands down to your heart. Eyes closed, head bows. Take one last deep breath in and exhale. Eyes open, head lifts, and namaste. Thank you for spending this time with me. Have a great week.